Hello everyone and welcome to the iCode channel. I've got some really good news today. We are finally are at the point where we just released Firmware 3.0 for the iCode Trackball Ultimate, which is the unit here that we're looking at. If you've got this unit, you've got to go get the 3.0 firmware. Today I'm going to show you some of the cool things about the firmware and what a game changer it is. In fact, I'm going to also give you guys an introduction to the brand new iCode Hub, which is going to be very helpful in configuring your trackball system. So let's get right to it. So basically, when you first turn on your trackball, as you notice, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off here. And when we first plug it in, one thing that you'll notice quickly is you'll get the nice logo. But notice the little icon that came up that told me I am in legacy emulation mode. So now the 3.0 firmware will support multiple emulation modes. So legacy is your standard one that works with most devices out there. But if you want to work, for example, with Switch, or you want to work with iOS on Apple, or some legacy systems, you now have 5 different modes that the trackball works in, and I'll show you some of that as well. And then the mode is always shown in the bottom right corner. This little icon here shows me that I am in legacy mode. But what I'm really excited about the new update is what we call presets. Presets allow you to pre-configure multiple memory slots that you can save for different games, because some games you may want to use it in mouse mode, other games you want to be in gamepad mode, other ones you want to be kind of a mix, and now we've got some really cool features that'll even let you use the trackball with games that were never even meant to be used with trackball, and I'm going to show you how that works. So having different presets for these types of games is a game changer. And the way you manage your presets, you'll notice here on the top right corner the little word P:. I'm on preset 4, but you can have up to 10 presets that are pre-built in the device. But best of all, these presets synchronize to the iCode Hub cloud. So what is the iCode Hub? Let me show you that, and we'll cover all the different features that the new trackball has. So I'm going to go ahead and go to iCode Hub here. So you can see I've gone to icodehub.icode.com, and you'll notice a little register button and a connect button. So what you want to do first is quickly register. It takes like 10 seconds. Literally all you have to do is sign in with Google, and when you sign in with Google, I'm already registered. It'll ask you 2 questions. You say save, and you're registered. Now that I'm logged in, notice that I have my presets on the left. Even though I'm not connected yet, it automatically saves my preset to the iCode Hub cloud. So that way, if you ever do your firmware updates, you can easily restore your presets directly to the device. But most importantly, you can also have much more than 10 presets. You can have 10 presets at a time on the device, but you can always create new presets and save those, and then depending on what you're doing, you can always load different ones. So in this example, I've got 10 presets here on the left, number 0 through 9, and you can see I've got a mouse only presets. This little mouse icon says it's for mouse. You can see it's for my mouse only games. I can name my presets. It's mouse only. I have different sensitivities and acceleration, all the stuff that you normally do on the small screen. You can now do it directly on the web. But let me go ahead and connect so you can see how it works. So when you press connect, make sure you got your device connected to your system. You've got to use Chrome or Edge browser. So if you're on Safari, it won't work. So make sure you open iCode Hub with Chrome, and then go ahead and pick the USB device and say connect. And as soon as it connects, notice that it changed to slot 4 because that's the slot I was on currently. But watch what happens. So if I click on slot 2, for example, the screen refreshes on the device and it automatically changes to slot 2. So all my configurations change. if I go back to slot 4, again, it went and it changed the configuration. If I change some configuration here, so for example, if I want my gamepad to be left stick and I save, it'll automatically load it into the device instantly. So everything that you see is live. If you don't press save and you go to another one, you can say discard changes and so on. And this is a slot number that it's currently loaded in, which is highlighted here as well. So you can also change the slots. So if I want to move this to slot 7, I can swap it into slot 7 and press save, and so on. So that's one of the great changes. This next change that's really cool is you've also have all your button mappings here. So that makes it real easy. So while I'm on slot 5, I can define all my buttons. So for example, my small red button, right now it's mapped to button 2 on the gamepad. I can turn on and off rapid fire. I can also map it to a mouse clicks if I want, right from here. So very easy to configure all the buttons on the device as well. And then in your configurations, you can also configure your buttons as well. So, obviously these are the buttons that's on the device and the buttons that are that you normally use on the top, which are the left and right, what we call the side buttons. Okay, so those are there. We talked about the emulation modes here, so how you can also change emulation modes from here or from the screen. So I am in legacy mode, which is my current mode, but notice we have an iOS mode, we've got a Nintendo Switch mode, we've got a classic mode, which is great for some of the older systems, like if you use, for example, a Commodore Mini 64 or Max. Standard is great for potentially some of the modern PC games that use direct input. So depending on what you're using, you can try different modes. Okay, and then you've also got a live test here. So if you press live test, it'll show you notice I've got my trackball here, and when I move my trackball left and right, up and down, it's tracking to that, so I know what's happening. If I press buttons on the device, it'll track to the mouse buttons. Here I am in mouse mode, so these are tracking to mouse mode, and then some of these buttons I've got to gamepad mode. You can see here's my left and right buttons, which are mapped to 4 and 5, and then these buttons here, the red and the green, are mapped to 2 and 3. So it makes it really easy to see. When you're in legacy mode, you'll get this PS3-like gamepad, and if you're in different modes, these things will change automatically. So it's a really good way to quickly test your buttons and so on. All right, and then the other nice thing about the iCode Hub is you'll be able to not only save these configurations, but if you ever need help and you post something on our community forums and you're having trouble with the configuration, we'll be able to even remotely configure things for you and send you a notification, and you'll get a notification and you just select it, and then it'll update your configuration. That particular slot will be ready for you. All right. The other thing with iCode Hub is you get all your updates, firmware updates here. So let's look at some of the firmware history here. So you'll notice for Trackball we've got the 2.0, and now we have the 3.0. So you can actually install it directly from here. So if you haven't installed 3.0 yet, this is where you go to install it. When you push connect, you'll be able to install it. And let's look at some of the notes. So, as we talked about, you've got all the nice things about the iCode Vault and the iCode Hub with the presets and so on. You've got your memory slots. We've got multiple mode of emulations. We've got auto recenter, which is a fantastic feature, what I'm going to show you next. And then I'm going to also try to show you a little bit about the remake of our mini games, and especially a new one that's called Brick Bash. but you will love the missile command that's been updated in the mini games, so you should definitely give that a try. And then the audio and sound completely revamped. So now it's got true multi-channel, 10-channel with built-in mixer. So it's a really nice audio system that's built into the device. And then, of course, there's lots of other small fixes. So let me show you some of these and how, for example, this auto recenter works. So let's imagine I wanted to play a game that didn't support trackball. So a good example of that would be maybe asteroids. Asteroids, typically you use two buttons. One is thrust, and one is to actually two other buttons that are left and right, which are not very convenient, but that's how they're typically done. And then in addition to that, you have things like hyperspace and so on that take additional buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my asteroids configuration. I created one here for asteroids Mammy. And notice what I did is you'll see this new option called recenter. So what that means is, like, when I move the trackball, after a certain amount of time, it will automatically recenter if it does not see movement on the trackball. Because typically when you move the trackball and then you want it to snap back to be recenter, and this is what makes it possible. What does this look like? And I've also changed acceleration to 9 because I want it to go all the way to the left or all the way to the right very quickly. Imagine I'm playing asteroids. If I push to the left, I want to go left, and then when I let go, I want it to recenter. That's what happens here. So when you do a live test, see what happens. So when I move to the left, it goes all the way, and then it recenters immediately. If I go to the right, it recenters. If I go to the top, so no matter where I go, it quickly snaps back, which is exactly the behavior we want. So let's look at this in action. I'm going to bring up, for example, asteroids here. So we've got asteroids. I've already mapped some of these buttons here for coin and start. And then as soon as I start the game, notice that I can play by moving left and right, rolling up just will do a thrust for me. If I do really hard, it is faster thrust. And then of course got my buttons, so it makes it really cool to play with. So it's something that's kind of cool, and it makes it quite a bit fun to play. And of course you can still use buttons if that's what you prefer, or you can do both. I can move up to thrust, or I can press the button to thrust. So you can map multiple actions as well, and then it makes the game really fun to play. And if you have our spinner, some people love to use our spinner with the recenter feature the same way, just like I'm doing it with the trackball. Okay, so that's a quick demonstration of how the recenter feature works. All right, let's look at the next feature, which is all about the mini games in here. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so we can take a look. But basically what you can do is go to the menu system, which is all revamped as well. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, maybe a little bit more. There we go. All right, that's pretty good. And I'm going to even zoom in for you guys a little bit more. All right, so we've got the menu system. The menu system now has themes, so you can change emulation modes here. You can change the theme of the. So if you like green screens, this is a neon terminal. This is an amber, midnight blue, and sunset haze, which is the default. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to the mini games. By the way, there's volume control as well, so you can turn the volume up or down on the device, which is really nice. And then mini games, I'm going to go ahead and switch to Iron Dome, and I'm going to go ahead and go out. So hopefully you can hear it here. I'm going to maybe turn up the volume just a little bit more because my microphone's a little bit further away. 70, 80%. Okay. All right, so we're going to press start. Now, I'm using my trackball here on my hands, and then, you know, I can just press the 3 fire buttons, and I gotta take a look. It's hard for me to see, but you can see, you know, try it out. And oh, I've got it in auto center and it keeps centering. I need to switch to one of my other modes so it doesn't auto center. There we go. I was wondering what's going on here. All right. And my buttons were remapped, so I didn't do very good. But try this out. You will notice it's really cool to play. And another really cool thing about the missile command that's on the device is when you connect it to the iCode hub, it will go ahead and upload your high scores. And from time to time, we'll be giving away some gifts and prizes to people on that. So you will see when you connect on the leaderboards, you have Iron Dome here, and it'll upload your high scores if you like. You can opt out on some of these things. So if you go to your account settings, you'll be able to see you can get email updates from us. You can get in-product notifications in iCode Hub, and then you can, if you want to participate or opt out of leaderboards, you can opt out here. But you know, it will use your screen name. So if you don't want to use your real name, you can always change whatever the display name here is. For example, for me, here's my screen name, and going forward, that's what you will see in the leaderboards. So have some fun, play some of these games. There's also a fun little game I added here called Pac-Man. You can play that here right on iCode Hub and compete. It'll upload your high scores here. We'll be giving a prize on this as well end of next month. So give it a try. Just, you know, press. You can play it with your trackball if you want, or you can use your keyboard or another game controller if you like. It works with any of them as well. It's kind of fun to play, and it looks almost exactly like the original. So give it a try. It's kind of cool, and it'll upload your score. Now, there's a lot more about this firmware, so let me see what else is worthy to talk through. It'll detect your devices, and in case you ever lose it, you know, we have the serial number information, and we can track it, and it'll let you transfer. If it ever shows up on the web elsewhere, we'll be able to know very quickly. For these presets, if you want to switch quickly between them during game, you can also do that. So maybe you've got 2 different button configurations and you want to quickly switch. If you push the black button and the right trigger at the same time, it'll quickly go to the next slot number for preset, so which is really good. We've improved the factory reset, so you can see that there's a info screen that you can see all the version information. There is a switch mode. We talked about that already, actually. Oh, we've got some new RGB lighting themes. So if you go to the menu and switch lightings, there's one that's kind of cool. It'll do rainbow like it normally does, but it can also change based on your press. So it'll be rainbow, but when you push blue, it'll change to blue and green. And if you do combinations, it'll even do combinations. So for example, if you do blue and red at the same time, your trackball will turn into purple. So that's kind of neat to play with. We talked about audio sound, how that's completely changed, and lots of other small fixes. So if you haven't gotten this already on your device, some of the newer ones that we've been shipping already have 3.0, but if you haven't received it, go online, download the update on iCode Hub.icode.com, install it, register, and I'm telling you, I think it's a really cool new system. That's all I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this session. We'll talk a lot more next time. Take care.